What's up, y'all? CKID here, man, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys why I'm personally so hyped about this new PS5 that everybody keep talking about. And although it is speculated that the PS5 release date probably won't be until 2020, but even then I'm still crazy hyped about this system. And let me go ahead and tell you why. Now, since we've already pretty much gotten into the release date, let's go ahead and start there first. Now, based on these confirmed details and where the gaming industry is pretty much heading, I'm willing to bet, and if I am a betting man, that the PS5 will most likely be released sometime in Q4 of next year. Now, some of you guys out there are probably like, well, Devin, how in the world did you figure that? Well, the main reason being is that Sony has a history of releasing their consoles in Q4 since it's pretty much around the holiday time frame, and it is the best time for them as a company, or any other company for that matter, to pretty much capitalize on the sales, since people tend to spend a crazy amount of money during that Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday season. So Sony didn't show up this year to E3, which I think was actually a dope move, but they had an exclusive interview with Wired.com, which is a very reputable website, that the PS5 will have some much needed upgrades. And the one that I'm particularly excited for, through all of these specs and things that they gave, is it's going to now have an SSD drive. Man, I am super pumped about this, man, because there's so many things that having an SSD drive is going to just make the PS5 a game changer. So one of the first features, man, with having an SSD is the speeding up of game load times by a lot, as well as it will also be able to handle more movements, in particular to like gaming scenes, for a much more immersive experience throughout our gameplay. Now, one of the biggest payoffs by having an SSD over an HDD driven console are load times when moving between worlds and gameplay. Now, this is actually something that I'm hoping will happen when Nintendo actually decides to develop their next gen of Nintendo Switches, which should be coming up here pretty soon. And although Breath of the Wild was a super dope game, it was actually one of the dopest games that I've played, the travel between worlds load time was a little longer than I would have liked. But with an SSD on these consoles coming in the future, long loading times will be a thing of the past, man, and we can just forget about it. All right, because let's be real for a second. Now, one of the things that I hate, man, and I'm sure that you guys out there hate it as well, is how long it actually takes when you get that game that you've been waiting for. Like, let's say, for example, I'm waiting on The Last of Us 2. Yeah, I know all of you guys out there are waiting, so I don't know what's going on with the gaming developer, but anyway, whenever that game is coming out, man, let's say you get that game in your hand. You've been waiting a whole year and a half since they announced it at E3 last year. You finally get it into your hands, you plop it into your system, and guess what? You gotta wait a whole 30 to 45 minutes before you can even play that game. So now having an SSD over an HDD drive is complete game changer, man, because it is now going to change those gaming downloading and load times from 30 to 45 minutes down to maybe 5 minutes or so, depending on, how much, graphics are within that game and how big the game file is. But all in all, waiting 30 to 45 minutes for a game to basically download and load to your system is a thing of the past, man. All right, so the next thing that they actually talked about was getting an 8-core AMD Zen 2 processor, which will basically help with 8K gaming support. But keep in mind, guys, you still will need an 8K TV to be able to appreciate that kind of goodness. And to be honest, man, I only have one 4K TV that's right behind me that you guys see here. And, the other ones that are in my house is still 1080p TV. So, yep, it looks like I need to make that upgrade myself. Let me look at my wallet real quick. Missing a few dollars. Now, this other spec upgrade is what they're calling ray tracing support. Now, this is pretty much something that you guys will see in a lot of your movies today, and it's now becoming more and more prevalent in video games. Now, in short, ray tracing is basically this lighting effect that interacts with the surrounding environment to make scenes in the games more lifelike and more accurate in shadows, reflections in water, and pretty much things like that. Now, look at this clip provided by the channel, The Tech Chap, where he pretty much did a dope side-by-side comparison using Battlefield 5, showcasing ray tracing DXR turned on as well as turned off. Now, if you guys look real close, you can see that there is a slight difference in quality and realism to that actual scene and the surrounding environment within that game. And I can only imagine playing this game right here in 8K quality with that ray tracing DXR turned on. Man, that would be super dope. And if you guys want to go ahead and watch that entire video, I'll go ahead and link that one down in the description below for you guys to check out. Now, the last spec upgrade, which is a huge one for me, man, is that the PS5 will support 120Hz refresh rate, which will provide you guys some smooth gaming transitions as well as gameplay. Now, again, you have to have a TV that has 120 hertz refresh rate on it in order for you guys to get the full potential out of, what the PS5 is going to support, which is that 120 hertz refresh rate. Basically saying you can't have one without the other. Now, as far as the price go with the PS5, that pretty much hasn't been released just yet, but Sony did mention that the PS5 price will be attractive to gamers. Not really sure exactly what that means, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Best bet is you better just start saving your coins right now.
10 cent, 11, 12.
Now, one of the biggest things people talk about when it comes to new gaming consoles that are coming out, whether it's Sony or whether it's Microsoft, is backwards compatibility when it comes to playing older games. Well, I am happy to bring the news that PS5 will be able to play current PS4 games on the system, since a lot of the internal components are built upon the same structure and framework. Now, this is huge, guys, because one of the things that I hated the most when I first picked up the PS4 when it was announced was that it did not allow for backwards compatibility with the PS3, PS2, or PS1. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't really care that much about not being able to play my PS2 games, but cutting off the fact that I couldn't play my God of War games was a tough one for me because it was pretty much something that I was forced to have to deal with. But now being able to play my PS4 games on the new PS5 system, it just makes it a match made in heaven. All right, so the last thing I want to talk with y'all about, man, is the VR system with the PS5. Now, I know that VR was something that was supposed to actually take off, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really seen that big of a push with VR that I would have liked to see. But I will say that the PS5 will work with the current PlayStation VR headset as well as the Move controllers. But I'm actually hoping, man, with the new console that they spend, a little bit more time creating better experiences with the VR than what is actually currently on the PS4. I'm not saying that it's bad, it's just not as inviting or remembering as I would have liked it to be. But with all of that being said, y'all, I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the features that you guys are personally excited about when it comes to the PS5? Or what are some of the features that you guys would actually like to see based off of your personal experience with the PS4? Go ahead and let me know down below, and let's go ahead and hang out in the comments. Also, if you guys are into Nintendo Switch content, I got some dope accessories right over here that you guys should go ahead and check out. Go ahead and click right over here right now, and I'll go ahead and see y'all over there. All right, peace.